Now, this is a topic I think is very hilarious, in my opinion. And we're going to talk about the Brittney Griner situation and all the shenanigans happening with that. But before we get into the primetime Alex Stein's video, we are going to do a little recap of what happened with Brittney Griner, who she is. If you don't know, Brittney Griner is a WNBA star center. I believe she's the only player that can dunk. Don't quote me on that, but she's a WNBA player. And because she plays in the WNBA and because the WNBA doesn't make enough money, she does play overseas during the off season in like a Russia WNBA league where she makes even less money probably. But while over there, she got caught with a little marijuana. And of course, over in Russia, that's a big no-go. So she got put in prison, Russian prison. And then later on, you know, the President Joe Biden made sure she was top priority to bring back to the United States because the WNBA is so important in American culture. But it wasn't gonna, you know, he wasn't gonna get her back without giving the Russians to someone. So of course, in I believe December it was. Wow. Brittney Griner is back home in the U.S. after a prison swap with Russia. Who did we trade Brittney Griner for? That's right, the Merchant of Death, Victor Bout. He was the world's most notorious arms dealer before a U.S. court convicted him in 2011 and sent him to prison in Illinois. That is right. We traded a WNBA star for the Merchant of Death. Really shows who our priorities here. Actually, let me rephrase that. We traded the Merchant of Death for a black lesbian WNBA star. Does that make the deal even sweeter? To the 1% of people who care, it does. But, you know, a lot of people brought up how bad of a trade this is. And in my opinion, it was a terrible trade because you got someone who killed a lot of people and someone who can barely dunk a ball and hates America. So that's fun. But if we, that's a little bit forward. And speaking of hating America, Brittney Griner did kneel during the national anthem. She stopped standing in 2020, but she resumed the practice after returning from 10 months in prison. One thing, oh wait, that's something. Playing in her first real WNBA game in 579 days, Brittney Griner did something Friday night in Los Angeles that national television audience hadn't seen her do in a long time. She stood for the national anthem. She stopped in 2020 because of protests, and she resumed the practice after 10 months imprisonment in Russia. One thing that's good about this country is our right to protest, Griner said. You have a right to be able to speak out, question, to challenge, do all these things. After what I went through, it just means a lot more to me now. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Very interesting there. So, you know, I guess now she likes America, but she hated it. Fine. Whatever. But, you know, like I said, this was the biggest trade in WNBA history, aka no one watches the WNBA. Okay, it's just a fact, people. Don't yell at me. Look at the numbers. Okay, and I didn't even know their season started. Who did, right? Who knows? But after her first game back, which I guess was at the end of May, you know. During a press conference, one of the coaches, you know, was very upset that no one came out. It wasn't a sold out crowd. So let's take a look at this press conference. This is from Greg Price. After Brittney Griner played in her first game back, the head coach was angry Los Angeles didn't sell out the arena for her.
I mean, it was great, but like honestly, come on, LA. Like we didn't sell out the arena for BG. Like I expected more, you know, to be honest, right? Like it was great, it was loud, but how was it not a sellout? How was it not a sellout?
How was it not a sellout, folks? Well, we're going to do a little experiment here. All right? We are going to look up WNBA highlights, and you tell me why it wasn't a sellout. This is nothing against the girls, the women, okay? Nothing against them. They are athletes. They could probably kick my ass in basketball. Well, most of them. I'm pretty good baller. But let's look at some of these highlights. And you tell me. You tell me why no one watches the WNBA, okay? This is a video titled, "This is Why No One Watches the WNBA," and it's a part 2. Interesting. Oh no. Okay. Boom. Okay. Look at that big parade.
There against Copper as Turner misses
the layup. And now Diggins Smith knocks it away. Turner has it for Phoenix.
Diggins Smith.
So it's the highest level of basketball, and if you love basketball, you love the WNBA.
Diggins Smith on the attack. Misses a layup. A 7-0 Chicago run.
Oh my God. Come on.
3 missed layups. Rebound. Diggins Smith on the attack. Floats it up to Turner. She can't finish. That her persistence is paying off. As Howard just blew the bunny. And the second one. And now they're going to jockey underneath.
Averaging 18 points and
Oh boy, here we go.
And that's one way.
Oh my God.
In the pipeline. You have Olivia at Pepperdine and keeping her team.
Okay, but to be fair, that was an all-star game, okay? That was an all-star game. They aren't playing at their top level. Okay.
Stewart, nice fake, lays it up short.
Oh no. You know it's a bad one when the video and the highlight continues. Oh no.
I think that's been figured out yet. We're thinking long term with what we can do with this group.
Yeah, I think he's really excited about the potential for this team that they may reach this year.
That was a pass. That was obviously a pass.
Today for a good reason. Today shoot around like almost right out of the gate. Cheryl Reed was
Okay, that's enough. But okay. You see why the WNBA is not okay. I'm dipping my toes in very controversial opinions here, but screw it. I'm going to say it. No one watches the WNBA because it's not entertaining, okay? I'll say it. They're not 6'6" dudes dunking basketballs, okay? Okay, they're not LeBron James out there windmill dunking it, right? And let's be honest, it's a different sport, okay? A lot slower, a lot of missed layups, which they should work on, okay? To be fair. But you wonder why no one watches these games. Just saying. Just saying. And let's be honest, the people failing the WNBA are a lot of women fans, Where are the women watching these sports? Just saying. Okay, but moving on, we were talking about the Brittney Griner situation. And that is because Mr. Prime Time, Alex Stein, has blessed us with, just give me 1 second here. But Mr. Primetime, Alex Stein, has blessed us with another confrontation. and it looks to be a good one here. Let's take a look. He confronts Brittney Griner at an airport. Here we go.
BG, was that a fair trade for the Merchant of Death? I know you kill it on the court, but he kills it in real life. Is it true you had to have sex with Vladimir Putin to get released from Russia, Britt? Get out of the way, dog. Britt. Get out of the way. Britt, is it true you had to... Get out of the way. What about his wife? What are you doing? I'm trying to talk to Brittney. Hey, Britt. Do you still want to boycott America, Brittney? Stop. Well, get off me. Stop. Stop. I'm weird. Why? She hates America. What about the Merchant of Death, Britt? Get off me. Stop, dude. Get off me. Was that a fair trade for the Merchant of Death? I know you killed it on the court, but he killed it in real life. Is it true you had to have sex?
Who even is that guy? Is that guy like a security guard for them, or is he just like a loyal? Is he a simp? A white knight? Probably not. He's probably just like a trainer or someone.
Vladimir Putin, will you get released from Russia, Britt? Britt!
Why are you being like that?
Dude, I want to talk to Britt. Britt, you scared to talk to me? Britt, you're scared.
Look, he knows. He was smiling. He was like smiling. He knows it's funny.
Have a good day. The Merchant of Death, Britt. Have a good day. You should be ashamed of yourself. Get off me. Stop now. Britt, do you hate America? Britt, was it a fair trade for the Merchant of Death? Britt, was it a fair trade? Brittney, was it a fair trade? Why are you grabbing me?
Because you're running up.
I want to talk to the famous athlete.
You talk to me. How about that?
Okay, well, do you like protecting her, even though she hates our country?
I do what I need to.
Well, do you think that she?
Have a good day.
Did you hear that she had sex with Vladimir Putin? Have a good day.
Wow, what another phenomenal confrontation from the one and only Primetime 99. But yeah, I don't know about the whole scandal with Vladimir Putin. Not sure how true those allegations were, but go off, I guess. But it's also funny to point out that this is in a airport. Like, I guess, you know what? I'll save that because I feel like a lot of teams have their own private jets and stuff. But, you know, a lot of times players travel commercial or like commercial flights. But moving on, just one last thing about this whole debacle. The Phoenix Mercury, which is the team Brittney Griner plays on, are so afraid of primetime Alex Stein that they released a statement, actually. And let's go ahead and read the statement. It says, "We are reviewing the incident that took place at the Dallas airport. The health and well-being of our players and staff are our top priority, and we will always take every step within our power to protect player safety. We are committed to our support of BG and advocating for all American hostages abroad. We will continue our support of the marginalized communities and fighting the kind of hate that targeted us today. No one, regardless of identity, should ever feel fear for their safety. We will be coordinating with the WNBA on the next steps." What? He didn't even... There was nothing about her identity or anything about the marginalized community. He was just asking if it was a fair trade for her. The simple answer from her would have been, yeah, it's a fair trade. But, you know, she didn't want to answer. She didn't want to interact with Primetime. Now, to be fair, he did probably go up to them in a very, you know, probably abrupt manner. But, you know, it's nice to see Primetime get a shout out, though. It is nice to see that. Oh, look at this tweet. Sarah Gonzalez said, a women's basketball team can't even handle a heckler without over-dramatizing it. How embarrassing. Yeah, it does seem like a very exaggerated statement about the events that took place. Again, he did not mention her. Well, okay. He did say, did she have sex with Vladimir Putin or his wife? Okay. But, you know, they're making this a big deal about marginalized communities or fighting the hate targeted toward us. Ooh. It's just prime time. You really feel threatened about the man that put on a tuck swimsuit in Target? Who knows? But that's another W for the primetime heckler group.